Chapter 5. The Final Piece. The following morning, Boston was greeted by headlines proclaiming the successful bust of an international jewel syndicate. The Beacon Hotel, now secure and slowly returning to its serene ambiance, had become an unexpected symbol of justice. Caroline Adams, though exhausted, felt a profound sense of pride as she read the news. Detective Reynolds and his team remained at the hotel, wrapping up the investigation and ensuring that all loose ends were tied. The guests, who had been briefly unsettled by the events, were reassured by the swift and professional handling of the situation. Caroline continued her duties, though she couldn't shake the feeling that there was still something left unresolved. She found herself thinking about Mr. Blackwood and the cryptic entries in his notebook. What had driven him to risk his life to expose the syndicate? That afternoon, as she was making her rounds, Mr. Blackwood approached her. He looked much better, the color returning to his cheeks, though the weight of his experiences still lingered in his eyes. "Caroline, may I have a word?" he asked, his tone serious. "Of course, Mr. Blackwood," she replied, following him to a quiet corner of the lobby. He handed her the leather-bound notebook. "I need your help with one final matter. The information we uncovered last night is just the tip of the iceberg. This syndicate is part of a larger network, and their operations extend far beyond what we've seen." Caroline's curiosity was piqued. "What do you need me to do?" "There's an address in this notebook here in Boston," Blackwood explained, pointing to a specific entry. "It's a safe house used by the syndicate. We need to find it and retrieve any documents or evidence that could help dismantle the entire network." Caroline nodded, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. "I'll do it. But we'll need to be careful." Reynolds, who had joined them, agreed. "We can't risk alerting them to our presence. We'll go in quietly, gather what we need, and get out." That evening, under the cover of darkness, Caroline, Reynolds, and Blackwood set out for the address listed in the notebook. The location was a nondescript brownstone in a quiet neighborhood, blending in with the other buildings around it. Reynolds picked the lock with practiced ease, and they entered the house, moving silently through the dimly lit rooms. The place appeared uninhabited, but it was clear that it had been used recently. Papers were scattered on a desk in the study, and a laptop sat open, its screen glowing faintly. Blackwood immediately began sifting through the documents, while Caroline searched the rest of the house. In the basement, she found a locked cabinet. With a sense of urgency, she called Reynolds, who quickly picked the lock. Inside were files, photographs, and several external hard drives. "Jackpot," Reynolds murmured, carefully packing the items into a bag. As they prepared to leave, they heard a noise from upstairs. Someone was in the house. They exchanged tense glances, knowing that a confrontation was imminent. Reynolds signaled for them to hide, and they took cover behind the furniture. Two men entered the study, talking in hushed voices. Caroline recognized them as members of the syndicate from the hotel. They seemed unaware of their presence, but the tension was thick. Reynolds moved silently, positioning himself to take them by surprise. With a swift and precise motion, he disarmed the first man, while Caroline and Blackwood restrained the second. The men struggled briefly before realizing they were outmatched. Reynolds called for backup, and within minutes, the house was surrounded. The men were taken into custody, and the evidence they had gathered was secured. Back at the Beacon Hotel, the mood was one of quiet triumph. The files and hard drives contained enough information to dismantle the syndicate's operations worldwide. The authorities praised Caroline, Reynolds, and Blackwood for their bravery and quick thinking. Caroline stood in the lobby, reflecting on the whirlwind of events. She felt a deep sense of satisfaction, knowing that justice had been served and that the Beacon Hotel could return to its peaceful existence. Mr. Blackwood approached her, a grateful smile on his face. "Caroline, you were extraordinary. I can't thank you enough for everything." She smiled back, feeling a bond that went beyond mere acquaintance. "It was a team effort, Mr. Blackwood. I'm just glad we could stop them." As they parted ways, Caroline knew that this experience had changed her. She had discovered strength and resilience she never knew she had, and she had played a crucial role in uncovering a major criminal network. The Beacon Hotel, once again a sanctuary of elegance and tranquility, stood as a testament to the power of determination and courage. And as Caroline resumed her duties, She knew that, no matter what challenges lay ahead, she was ready to face them with confidence and grace.
Read a lot. Change your life. Please subscribe to our channel.